Back with episode 9 of the BroNups.
Is this episode 9?
Yeah, this is episode 9, I think.
Cool.
We messed it up on the first few.
It's hard to keep track, isn't it? Because we just come here and we sit down and we talk. We're doing it anyway without keeping track. So now we're trying to keep track, and yeah, it's a different experience. Yeah, so what were we saying? Everyone was moaning about the audio before, so we went and got mics, you know. And it's just one of those things that people have as an excuse, like, oh, I can't buy this, I can't buy that. Like, we started on our phone.
I know.
You know?
Well, we're 9 episodes in now, and you know what? We've had some good guests, and we've had some pretty sick podcasts, and this audio's sick. Everything's getting more and more professional. Some people are probably sweating, you know.
It's the same as like starting any business. You just start off where you can, do what you can, and then, you know, upgrade as you go. Like, as you start making more money or you see it go in the right direction, you can spend more money towards it and invest more.
Yeah. I was saying this to my mate earlier, that you got to go through the cringy part, haven't you?
Yeah. It's like half the thing is just starting. You know, most people don't start. And once you start it, you could do anything. Like, it's
kind of fun, actually, because this is going to be like the ultimate testament, because this whole thing now, we're starting it with pretty much no capital. What we bought, a few mics, and that's only because these fuckers have been moaning about the audio. So we bought a few mics. Other than that, we could have done this with no mics, and I guarantee we could have made this take off with just iPhone.
Yeah,
and now
easy.
We're 9 episodes in, and we're starting to show that perseverance is what makes it happen. And then at the end of it, these same people have asked, like, how do I start out on no money? Well, we're showing you how you start with no money.
But the stats are mad, aren't they? Because I think it's 80% of people give up on episode 5.
Yeah.
Which we read that before, so it helped. So we knew we get past EP5, we're in the top 80%. Oh, sorry, top 20. And if we make it to episode 20, we're in the top 3%.
Yeah.
So like the goals are quite easy to see. So once we get to EP20, like we've already beat 97% of the competition.
I know. And the sickest part about it is anyone who has opinions before we get to episode 20, that it fuels it, you know?
Mm.
It's good. I think like hate's a powerful thing, because you can do 2 things with hate. You can let it get to you and you can be like, oh, they've got this opinion, maybe I shouldn't do any more. Or you could think like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah. And what was the other thing I was saying? So yeah, that whole the stats thing, like there's so much information now available out there that we took 2 minutes to find that out. And we know with a normal traditional business, 50% fail in the first year, and by the second year, another 50%. So if you survive 2 years, if you could make through 2 years of business, you're on the top 25. And I think by year 3, like that drops, only 30% of business fail, 25. So like make it 3 years and you're in like the top 20%, you know? And like you're guaranteed to make it almost, more or less.
But that's 3 years of pain. And a lot of people can't do this 3 years of pain, innit?
Yeah.
Because like we're doing this now and we're already set up in our own respective lives, you know, but we're still doing this because we want more. And I think like the same kind of people will always want more. And then you have other people who want to start a business because they want that to be the final solution, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to get enough money so I don't have to do nothing again.
Yeah, because I remember like the first 2 years of my last one anyways, was like, I didn't really go on holiday and I closed down for a week just because I needed a break. And I couldn't go without closing down, but I thought, you know, I need a break.
Yeah,
but bar that, I didn't really do anything. I was working 6-7 days a week for like the 2 years straight, maybe like 14 days off altogether.
14 days off, and how long?
In like 720 days.
Man.
So, and that was just when me and you went away, just because I was like, I need to get away. I can't do this any longer,
That was
you know?
a fun holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah. You need like a refresher. Like some people go on holiday and they can't be bothered. I'm on holiday like, I feel good to go back to work now.
Yeah,
you know, I could do something now. I don't feel tired. I don't feel exhausted. Let me get back to work.
What holiday was that?
I think it was Marbella where Dan rolled out the car. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. DJ rolled out the car. That's so funny. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that was the background story in that one is we picked up like a Berlingo van with sliding doors just so we could leave the doors open. And I did something stupid. I went around a roundabout. I done a handbrake. And our mate Dan in the back didn't have a seatbelt on, and he literally rolled out on a roundabout. And I looked behind me, he's gone. I was like, shit, is he dead? And he's just lying face down.
That was crazy.
On the concrete. And we're like, shit, pulled over, got up, and then as we walked towards him, he just stood up like, fuck me, what happened?
That DJ thing was mad, man. I remember we were sat in the back of the car. It was like £10 was on my right, and we were going. I think we were going like round that roundabout by the bullring, weren't we, in Marbella? If anyone's been to Marbella, you're gonna know it. And we go around the roundabout down there, and like we look forward and we look to the right, and I don't know, like we'd had a lot to drink. It's back when I used to drink.
Not
Shiz.
Sober.
Yeah, we were in the back.
Driver.
Me and my friend, we're in the back, and DJ's on the far right, And we go around the corner and we're like, something's different about the car. We can't work it out. And then it takes us like 5 seconds. Like, DJ's not in the car. And then like Shiz gets told, obviously, because he's the driver, hears, well, he's not in the car. And he's the one person who's sober with a level head.
I looked over like, where's he gone? And I could see him in the distance, like upside down, face down in the concrete.
Starfish on the road.
Mad, yeah. I was scared. I was like, fuck, man, I haven't got a murder charge or something, or like manslaughter. And he just jumped up with like a scratch and a broken iPhone.
And bro, we had a funny one as well. Do you remember with the police pull us over that same night?
Yeah.
That was crazy. So we got pulled over for just a routine drive or whatever. And Shiz is obviously not drinking. So he gets pulled over, fine, nothing wrong. But he doesn't have a driving license on him. And our villa is 2 miles away. And they say, you have to walk now. You're not allowed to get in the car. So we think there's no way we're walking just because he hasn't got a license. Walking to get a license to get the car back because we still have to get it back home. So I just go, look, I've had a few drinks, but just, I'll show the license. I'll drive 10 meters up the road and we'll switch. Anyway, we switch over. I show the license to the cop. All's good. We start moving. Then suddenly bang on the side of the door. And then the cop's there. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get pulled now for drink driving just because I was going to pull it up 10 meters. He's like, you're leaving without your license?
Yeah.
I was like, jeez, bro. But that was close. My heart went for a second.
That was mad. Yeah, even this morning, like I swear we always have these vehicle-related mishaps. Like this morning, when I was going to meet you at the gym,
yeah,
I was on the phone filling up at the petrol station. Obviously, I'm used to filling up petrol in the i8, and I've got this diesel thing right now, like the workhorse, and I must have put in like 40 in petrol in an empty tank, and then I've driven down the road, and it started chugging. I'm like, what have I done? I literally just whipped it back around, went back into the petrol station, opened the bonnet, pulled up the fuel lines, left the car running, and I'm pissing petrol down outside the petrol station, like by the pump, because I thought once it dies, I'm not going to be able to wheel it. So I was
funny,
pouring it all out. And there's so much...
On the forecourt?
Yeah, on the forecourt. And there's so much petrol. So one was like, is that petrol?
How much fuel did you put into the car?
40 quid.
So you were pouring 40 quid off into fuel. See, when you're telling a story, I wasn't even asking how much you're putting on there.
Yeah. I thought normally I just put in whatever, but yeah, I thought, let me fill this up so I don't have to go here later on today.
So what, 25 litres or something?
Yeah, probably about 25, 30 litres.
A healthy amount to leave on
3/4 of a tank. So I literally pissed out 3/4 of a tank onto the forecourt, and people were coming up to me like, is that petrol? I'm like, yeah. Obviously my car's a diesel. Like, no, and they've seen me drive off 5 minutes before, and I was like, yeah, I think I got a leak. They didn't know I ripped it off, obviously, because they'd be mad. Like, why would you bleed it out here? I'm like, well, because I'm going to have to push the car by myself and I'm in a rush. So anyway, I bled it all out now. And they're like, do you need some sand? They came out, threw some sand on it, threw some water on it. And then some guy walks past, like, we need to shut the whole petrol station down. I used to work for Esso. Someone's going to blow their car up here because of you. I'm like, oh, give it a rest. Whatever. And then anyway, I just bled it all out, topped up the tank, 70-something quid in diesel now. So full tank again. And luckily the car started and you could hear it like ding, 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 ding. And then the guy's looking at me like, he's worked out, obviously my car's a diesel. And the smell of petrol's on the floor. And
he knew what you'd done.
And the other guy inside was like, did you put the wrong fuel in? I was like, yeah, don't tell the lady outside. And then he's trying to shut down the whole petrol station because there's so much petrol on the floor. And I've just got on at this point.
And they found out you were dumping fuel on there.
It's so stupid though. But you know what?
As hell, bro.
You know what? The reason why I did it so quickly is because obviously you were waiting for me at the gym.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to call no fuel doctor and get charged like 150 for him to drain it out, you know?
Yeah.
It's all long as well, waiting an hour, and it's a wait mainly, not even the money, but yeah.
Talking to the fuel doctor, I don't know if this is before your time. Me and Shiz used to go to school together, but like back in the day, the free petrol pump, you remember this? Allegedly. Yeah. I never did this, but so I heard that when you're at this Tesco pump in Nelsey, there apparently was this pump on the right-hand side that if someone was using it, as long as they were using it, you would pick it up and it would come up with these options and it'd say pay at pump or pay at kiosk. And as long as you didn't select it, it'd be coming up like reminding you like choose, but it would be powering the pump apparently that you'd be holding in your hand that was adjacent to the one using it. So you'd wait around at the back of the forecourt if you were trying to do this, which would be stealing. You shouldn't do it. You'd wait. And then when they pull up, you dart over. And if they're filling a tank, you'd have all the time they're filling a tank to put fuel in your car. But the caveat to that is they could see from the like till. And if you sit there for the whole time and you fill your tank and then you've got no room to put any petrol in, they'll think, why were you there for 10 minutes? So it's that art of not filling your tank and being able to squeeze a tenner in. There was one time, and the reason it reminded me is our pal, I can't say the guy, he was always on tag, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had gotten it. He filled his tank. I think he'd gone into like Dream World and he wasn't thinking. He filled his tank and they were looking. So he put the pump behind his wheel and he pumped 5 quid's worth of fuel behind the wheel. Yeah. In the end, they caught
like
on.
A free fuel hack.
Yeah, free fuel hack. And in the end, there was like a Karen working behind there. And she goes, I think like I'd pulled up and I was the one time I was actually going to try doing it. She's like, don't think that you're going to get away with that free fuel anymore. It's been fixed. But yeah, for ages, bro, it was working apparently.
That's crazy.
Yeah, mad. All from like
things like that don't come up very often. Do you remember there's that time where there's a glitch? There's a certain ATM where you'd get double the amount of money you take out. So you take out 100 and you get 200.
No.
Whoever filled up the ATM and put in the wrong stacks, like a 10s instead of 20s. So if you ask for 100 quid, it'd give you 200 because someone's put, you know what I mean?
That's sick. I didn't know.
So people were
That's
just
mad.
queuing up to empty out money out there. It's crazy.
Do you remember that scheme that like people were doing where you would take the middle notes out or something?
Oh yeah. That's the other thing. Someone used to love doing that trick. Like you take out whatever, like 500, and when the money's there, you take out the middle amount of money, like just, I don't know, 100, 200, and you leave it, and it thinks you've forgotten the money, so it re-swallows it and never debits it. There's so many funny little hacks that people have, but they don't last long, do they? Like
No.
I had that Nando stamper for free chicken, and that lasted like a good 6 months if someone worked it out, obviously.
How many chickens do you reckon you had?
I don't know, families, generational chickens. I don't even know, like hundreds probably.
Nice. I think I said about it in one of the earlier podcasts, but I had that stamper from Virgin Megastore, and to every £10 you spent, you get a stamp, and I would just get the cards, and because I had the stamper, I'd stamp them, and then go buy a CD for a tenner, and then if you take it back and say, oh, accidentally bought a CD that I already have, they would then give you a credit note, and then the credit note you buy something, and then when you took it back again, they wouldn't know how you paid. You would turn it to cash, and it was a way of getting cash.
It's cool, innit? I love those like little loopholes you get. I had another one as well. I don't know if you remember, I was selling bulbs on Amazon, and there was a website, Parcel Monkey, and they had a free promotion. First time customer gets free shipping. So all you do is create a new email. So I was saving like, I don't know, whatever, like 20, 30, 40 free shippings a day, which are like £5 a pop. To do the maths, like all my stuff was getting shipped out for free for like months until they ended it.
That's
crazy,
mad,
innit?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember back in the day, there's NUS cards.
Oh yeah, you did a killing on there, didn't you?
Yeah, they had piles of NUS cards, and you could just help yourself. You didn't have to register them for whatever. You would just grab an NUS card, you'd write your name on it. And NUS stands for National Union of Students. And I used to go down to like the college reception where it was free, you're allowed to do this, and I would just take everything I could, and you could sell them for a £5 a piece, and on a weekend I could sell 100 and make 500 quid on a weekend from free stock that was given to me by the college. And then in the end, they caught me. They pulled me out of class, business class as it happens, and so shoot the guy who was trying to do business. Anyway, they took me out of business class and said, we've seen you taking those cards. I said, yeah, but I thought they were free. She says, well, I don't know what you're doing them, but you're not getting any more. Why? Is it affecting your job, Karen?
Yeah. Those loopholes, like you said, they don't ever last that long. They're just like temporary earners, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. And they're fun, aren't they? Like, forget the money for a second. It's just fun getting that little loophole, isn't it?
Yeah. There's like a buzz in like getting that little exploitation while it lasts.
We've had so much fun with shit like that.
Yeah, like going back to like school hustles, I was just thinking like, you obviously sold the glasses, got told off for that, you done the NUS. I remember like, if you think about the amount of different things you did till something worked for you, like all these little exploits, all these little hustles you found. But like I've done like crazy stuff. Like I remember like when I was 17, I was like buying and selling cars from when I was 17 all the way through uni.
That's a man's game to be in. That's fair play. That's selling cars. I wouldn't even know what to do with that shit now.
We did it once. Do you remember? We tried.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We went to the auctions with some money. We had touch. We had touch for some reason.
I don't know. Yeah, we made some money from something. And then we thought we'd try and flip it at auction.
Yeah, we took it to the, what car auction is it called?
It was Mannheim auction, and we won a green Micra by accident. Because do you want that one? Like, should we just bid for it? It's cheap. It was like £300. We're like, go on then. And then we just did it.
Yeah,
and the fees were like £500 on it.
Yeah, because the car was like 250. It ended up being doubled, didn't it?
Yeah, because we sold it for like £1,000, I think, in the end or something.
Yeah.
But it was the fees which done us over.
Yeah, it was.
Mad. And it's so bad. The whole thing was bad. Do you remember?
Yeah, man. That car, that was crazy. And I remember it had all those dents. Do you remember it had like paint that I started trying to polish it and the paint just started coming off, so I didn't bother anymore?
Yeah, I remember someone told me like a hack, like spray silicone on it, makes it look shiny again, and we were spraying it all over, like hand wiping it.
Yeah.
And we pushed out some dents with like a hammer or whatever. And like a woodpecker was inside it.
And my business partner, Beat, the lady who worked, she turns up and we told her like, oh, green's your colour. This Micro's a bit of you in it. We tried to put it on her back when she needed a car, but she wouldn't buy it. Yeah,
it's mad. So that was like that's how crazy, that's how much margin was in that car that is battered, and we still got more than auction price. Like it's like kind of like a fail-safe business, you know. You can't really go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Unless the car blows up or whatever, but yeah.
I know. What's the craziest stuff you've ever had when buying and selling cars? Like, you ever had a mad one? Like one where it's like you stood to mess up, or like, has it always been pretty solid?
Yeah, I had. What did they have? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. What's my maddest? Yeah, so I went to London once. I won a car on auction. Went all the way to Essex, and this guy had like some sick house. I bought the car, and I was like, anything wrong with it? He's like, no, whatever. He's like, he had a proper sick house and stuff. I was like, all right, whatever. He's like, taking it in part X. I got a garage, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's like, go on, go around the corner. I'll fill you up a full tank. I know you got a long drive back. So like, obviously, he's tanked the whole car for me, driven back. And just as we're getting close to our destination, it's like chugging. And obviously, he's realised that the fuel pump's gone in it. But as long as you got a full tank, there's enough pressure. So now I'm like stuck on the motorway, and I'm like, oh. I was like, it seems like a fuel fix. So we just filled up the tank, got it back, fixed it. I sold it. I mean, that was when I was in uni. And that was like an easy flip. I think I made like 1,800 quid on that, like within the week, you know?
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick, man.
It's cool because you're at uni and like there's loads of kids who are just like struggling, but they don't do anything. And then like I was whatever, pulling up in the Beamer, this, that, and the other. But there's like Chinese students who made that look dwarfed, you know? Like there's a Chinese kid with a Bentley with 888 as a number plate in uni. It's crazy.
Mad, man. They got some crazy money.
Yeah, there's foreign exchange students got like mad money, like because it costs them 30k for the course by itself, plus living. So your family has to have like 50k a year spare to send you to a different country, plus spending money.
Yeah,
and it always designed it out too. So
it's
like,
super rich.
Yeah.
When I was in China, like if luxury goods, that's crazy money over there. It's like 30% extra to buy a BMW.
Yeah.
Not as trying to buy a car, but I asked, like, you know, like I'm interested. But if you want to buy a watch, add 30% to the price.
Yeah.
They have luxury goods tax because they don't want anyone selling goods from outside of China into China.
Yeah.
But then it means that if you're Chinese and you're like covered in drip, you got serious money because the rich in China, they are seriously rich, aren't they?
Even like when you see people in China or India or any of these countries, Russia, in like a BM or anything, you know, it's triple the price. Like an X5 is like 150k out in these countries, you know?
It's mad, isn't it?
It's mad. Crazy import tax. It's like 100%, 200%. So they're just ridiculously rich. Like you can't even comprehend. Mad.
And like they'll say, like they do, they send their kids to school over here. They rent them. They pay rent, and there's no subsidies like there is in the government from the government, is there?
No,
there's just flat out hard cash.
There's countries like Libya. I think they used to pay you like to send your kid abroad to study. So like there is some countries where they do. Like Qatar now does the same thing. They'll pay you 40k to go study in England. But yeah, mainly it's like parents' money. It's crazy.
Crazy, man.
Like even today I had someone in Mumbai wanted to buy 2 watches, but they only got cash over there because I don't know, it's cash business over there. But
how do you find? Do you know him already? He found you from like...
Yeah, I knew him already. Yeah, I've been friends with him a long time. He's got like a recording studio and a cinema and all that stuff, and a couple of hotels. But he wanted 2 watches, and I go, why don't you get them over there? He's like, well, firstly, I don't know if they're authentic, and secondly, they're like 5k more each. And, you know, like cash over there is like, they've made it real hard to get rid of cash over there or use cash.
Yeah.
Like overnight, they literally like wiped out most the paper money.
Crazy.
So,
why? Because they're doing digital currency.
Yeah, digital currency, trying to stop people tax evading and stuff. Like India has the highest amount of black money, like tax evasion in the world. Something crazy, like, I think it's something like almost $1 trillion in tax avoidance or some shit. Crazy. Man. Like undeclared money people don't know about. Like it's been printed. And they don't know where it is.
So when you say it like that, do you think that it's good that they went cashless?
No, not really, because most of that country runs off people doing cash transactions with each other. You know, like you're out in a village, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like people can't have a phone on them all the time, or like you might not have signal, or it's not worth it. Like the pros don't outweigh the cons, you know?
I know, yeah.
And the freedom part of it too.
It's the freedom part of it, because I think we have like an innate habit as humans to sit back like, oh nah, this is good because it makes it fair because I'm doing this and that person get away with this. Like no, you got to stop thinking that way because you're relinquishing your freedoms when you're trying to get them to enforce rules so they're doing the same as you. Just because you're not brave enough to do whatever your friend is doing, you shouldn't be wishing away the freedoms, because the freedoms are going to come and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, because you might not want it now, but later on down the line when something changes, like, oh, I wish we still could do that, you know?
Yeah. It's a mad place. Right now, we should be fighting for any freedom. Like, I mean, we don't have guns in the UK, but I understand now why America has guns, you know? Like, you should have freedom, you know? But
yeah.
You should
if the police have got guns,
yeah,
they could be turned against you, so you kind of need something to defend yourself on the same level. Like over here, we don't really have guns, but they come at us with bats and...
Well, we're in a proper nanny state, aren't we? Like, we can't be trusted with anything that could defend ourselves. and everyone just kind of says like, no, and we shouldn't be trusted. It should be banned. Like, no, maybe it should be legal, and we shouldn't be the morons who can't be trusted with it.
But don't you think most of the population is not actually capable enough to be holding something to kill 10 people in a minute? You know, that's the argument, isn't it? Like,
but they're not. You're right. But neither are the people who control us.
Yeah. So there's like a catch-22. But you get countries with like good culture where you don't get loads of murders and stuff, you know, like, but in America, obviously everyone's on like whatever antidepressants, this, that, and the other ADHD medication. And they got weapons too. Like, it's not a good mix. And all that TV, gore, Hollywood, whatever else goes on over there, PTSD from like Vietnam or whatever.
It's really about emotions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if people are emotionally charged, they'll kill a load of people. But if someone's just reasonable, they'll kill. I just think that if you go to a traditional society where people aren't emotionally charged with music, with crap, with drugs, then you're going to get people who can own guns responsibly. And if you go to a place like, California, then them giving guns is going to have a load of people with blue hair running into cinemas, you know?
Yeah, and it's the divide, the rich-poor divide too, obviously doesn't help, you know? If you get a gun, you can put it in someone's head, become a millionaire in a minute, you know?
Yeah.
So you can't have that, like, mad, these people are homeless and these people are living in, like, Bel Air and mansions or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It makes it too easy to use a gun to, like, move from one to the other.
Do you know what? That whole thing, like, watching Nightcrawler, you know the movie Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
And, like, being in LA, when you see just how close you are from, like, being in riches to being in, like, not.
Yeah.
And it's real, could be, like, 2 minutes away. You think, like, you're not safe in Beverly Hills or wherever you are. You really aren't. Like, I didn't really want to leave the hotel, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, especially with the bird I'm with, I didn't want her to leave. I just thought you might as well stay because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, like, you got a watch or, like, you have one of those Cartier love bracelets, you know, the ones where you screw them off?
Yeah, get your hand cut off for it.
Yeah, they're not going to mess
They're not
around.
going to come there and come with a screwdriver, like, taking it off.
Yeah, I'm here to take
off
off that nicely. It's just dodgy, man. And I think since COVID, America seems like people are a lot more desperate than they've ever been.
Yeah, even you see, I think it was like Paris Hilton's dog walker or someone got shot in the face for like a pug or whatever. Like,
seriously?
Crazy. I don't know if it's Paris Hilton or someone else, but it's someone famous. Lindsay Lohan, maybe.
Bro,
they had a dog taken off and got shot in the face. Mad, isn't it? Ransom for a dog.
Bad, man.
It's crazy. But
this
yeah,
kind of stuff is like.
Do you remember in Vegas how mad it was that when we were going to that casino and that woman pulled up in like some beat up car with loads of stuff inside, like loads of junk.
That was scary.
And she's like, "Get in the car, guys! Get in the car." I was like, "We're like, why?" She's like, "Let's go party," and she's just like twitching like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. See you later.
Man, I was in South Africa with my sister. We were like a kid. We were on like a family thing, and we'd gone there to like, I can't remember, like some train track, and I'd gone to my sister, and I was taken to the shop and walking her back, and some guy tried to pull her off. Same thing.
No
He was
way.
like, "Yeah, look, come, I'm going to show you the drums," because I'd bought my sister this little drum, and he goes, "I'll show you. I got bigger drums here." And she's like, "Okay." I was like, "No, you're not going." I was like, "Follow me."
Bigger drums.
Yeah,
Mad.
yeah, crazy. And yeah, she started walking, but lucky I was maybe mind her. I was like probably 11 or 12. I like grabbed her and pulled her back. But yeah, that was crazy. But that felt similar to that woman in Vegas. Like, I knew it was a bad thing. She turns up like, "Hey, you guys want to party? Jump in the car.
Yeah, when people rush you, you know.
And we're like, "Nah, bro." That was at the Tyson Fury fight, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, that was the original trip, I think. The first one, Adam Singh.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was that time. Yeah, that was old Vegas too. That real rundown place, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And she just skirted up, and there's this, all her clothes, everything was in the car. We could see. She's like, "Come in, guys, let's party." And I'm like, "Do we look stupid?"
Living in the car, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
mad.
much. You meet some crazy people in Vegas.
Yeah, it's a mad place, isn't it? Really.
Mad.
Like, people never sleep and they're just driving around all day. Like, everyone's working. Like, how could you live in a place like that as a normal person? I find it so crazy.
Do you know what? It's crazy. It must be like real rough.
Yeah.
It must take out you. I must age you being in a place like that. And you also have those people whose their life, it revolves around like a gambling machine, and you see them, they got like a fishing hat, and somehow like their whole reason for being has become a machine.
I always wonder how these people get so much money to gamble. Like, I saw some guy the other day gambled away 55 million on like whatever, one-armed bandits or whatever. And like, what are you doing? He goes, "Yeah, some days I was there 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't sleep." I'm like,
Matt,
what the?
Is it me, or did you think that every single gambling, you get loads of gambling addicts and they seem to not have jobs and they just seem to spunk loads of money?
Yeah, it's
seen
crazy.
that?
There's some sort of like secret they're doing to get the money to spin up.
Yeah. I used to know a couple of heavy gamblers, like relative to the money we had at the time, like back at Bristol College. And every single lunchtime they'd go. The kid didn't even have a job. I thought, how's he doing it?
Yeah, I remember someone who was always like, they get paid, they'd be in a casino. Every bit of money except for like maybe whatever they pay the bills.
Yeah, there was one of the biggest rollers at the Gala, it used to be called, was a guy that used to serve us KFC.
Yeah,
and he worked there full time, and he was betting hundreds. And I thought, how are you doing this, bro? Because you're not the odds don't work for you.
Yeah, you always see a lot of Chinese people there, don't you? They've got some like real like knack for gambling or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
They're always there, always.
It's really like culturally like a big thing for them. Like they go to Macau. I went to Macau, which looks exactly like Vegas, except for all the fun's been taken away in terms of the partying, and it's just hardcore gambling. And 9 billion a year is gambled on the Las Vegas Strip, and in Macau, 45 billion a year is gambled. And it looks all the same. Like it looks like just the Venetian, except inside where the canal is, it's all Chinese writing instead of like Western writing. And the only difference is you would think and here's the weird part, is you're not allowed to smoke in the casinos, even though China's huge on smoking.
China's so horrible for smoking in it. Do you remember like everywhere you go, cigarettes? They only give out cigarettes free over there. Like, what part of the world hands out free cigarettes?
Oh, yeah. In Blue Coast, you just like grab one.
Like, there'll be like 400 cigarettes next to you in a drawer you pull out with toothpicks. Like, you could use cigarettes like toothpicks. I'm
not even a smoker, and I became one out there because it just seemed so convenient. I thought it was a pharaoh. They give you a robe. You've got like cigarettes. You can help yourself. A lighter's there. Cotton buds. Yeah, they come around and massage your feet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, that's service. I'll tell you what, England would benefit. Hey, someone wants a business idea, it'd take a lot of startup. But what do you reckon that'd do for a club? And explain what the club's like.
Yes, you go in and they take your clothes off you too, don't they?
Yeah.
Put you in robes. You go for the bath area, whatever, have a wash, sauna, whatever. Then you go in, another fresh robe. Then you go up to the floor and there's no window, so you never know what time it is. And they've got like an arcade in there, a few computers, 24-hour buffet. It's kind of gross because it was just everything boiled.
Hey, that's the first time we listened to Ed Sheeran, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Family with P Money.
Yeah.
And we would play Counter-Strike 2.0, was it?
We completed Time Crisis like for the first time ever because each game was like 1p a go.
Yeah.
In the arcade over here, you'll burn like 100 quid trying to complete that game.
Oh yeah, we get a load of tokens, just sit there.
Yeah.
Man, that's a sick game, innit?
Yeah.
You know when you get the ducks just right and it goes and like it's proper satisfying when you see the bullet like shoot over
it. Duck, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a sick game. I played that recently, or equivalent at least. Shoot 'em up games.
Yeah, I do it in the arcade sometimes still.
We were saying about GTA. That's what we need to get playing again.
Yeah, that's a solid game too. Was Alice playing that Land of Legends?
League of Legends. And
have you played that or not?
Nah, I think it's like World of Warcraft, isn't it? Is it?
Sort of.
Like fantasy?
Is it a shoot up or?
Yeah, sort of. It's like fighting, but
is it like where you
it's from an aerial view, isn't it?
So you don't actually throw your punches or whatever. You select your moves and it throws them and then it comes back to you. It's kind of like Pokemon but 3D.
Not quite. It is sort of low time, but it's I don't know. It's complicated.
I don't love when you're in a game heavy. Like, do you remember RuneScape?
Yeah.
That was one of the sickest games ever. It's still going now, like crazy amount of memberships.
I sinned a couple of times with RuneScape. I lied and told people I was a moderator to get their password and took their accounts.
Bro, that was like a trade for me when I was like 12. Like, me and my friend used to come around to my house and we'd just be sat there typing your password. I'm a moderator. I'll give you free gold. And we'd just be type over and over again, make it look professional, making your username. And I literally had a book, yeah?
Yeah.
And it had names, passwords, and then you take their stuff and drop it into your account and you get like people's dads messaging you loads of abuse, like, give me back my account, blah, blah, blah.
That's
it's
so
crazy.
Funny, man. I wasn't even good at RuneScape. I know the names because I used to do this stealing accounts, Rune Armor. And what I would do is I'd go on to like whatever server I'd go on. I would get someone's name who had loads of stuff at one. I would then take the name, go to a different server, and then message from the other server. But it'd come up as an observer, but I would have like Jagex or whatever the company that owned it in
mine
there.
was the same too.
And I'd say Jagex. So they're like, hi, just to let you know your account's being banned for a level spider. Goodbye. And I'd say goodbye. And then they'd be like, whoa, why? And I would act like I didn't want to know them. And they'd be like, what's going on? I was like, oh, we recognize that you've used level spider. Because they'd be typically like, I don't know why it was, but like a level 70 to 80 was easy. But after level 80, it was like they were too smart. They weren't giving you the fucking passwords.
Isn't it funny that we didn't even know each other, but we were like stealing people's RuneScape accounts, doing the same shit. We didn't even know each other. And then I met someone else who was doing the same thing. I was like, yo, we used to do that too. Mad.
We both did RuneScape. We both did chewing gum before we knew each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both selling sweets on the playground. Is this a path of life that you have to take? Like, because this is what was available to us. And I think what kids have got these days is like, you're going to try drop shipping. You're going to do this. You know, like that's the rite of passage. Back then, the only way is that you just got told that it was a load of geeks getting these leveled up accounts and that they would fall for people who were crafty foxes. So there you go. Yeah. And you could sell them for 50 quid.
I remember I had an account and I put it on eBay and obviously eBay removed it, but I sold it for about 80 quid, which are like 13 years old. It's
that's
crazy,
mega, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's sick, man.
Mad.
That kind of shit. If you can just get like a touch like that once a week as a kid, you have it off, won't you?
Yeah, for real. That was like kind of, it seemed harmless because the accounts were free, but it's people's hard worked. People spend hours on that game.
Bro, I don't even know why I'm thinking about this, but of all the times that I ever made money at school, I very rarely used anything other than lunch money. I had like a autistic divide towards I can only use the lunch money part of it. You know, I didn't want to dip into my funds.
Oh yeah, I'd never use my own funds for food at school. It was literally like kept separate. Like I remember I stacked up 120 from DVDs and it was just in a box, like just selling DVDs and CDs in school, 120, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I sell them so cheap, like 2-3 quid a DVD. Like, what's wrong with me?
I remember what I would do sometimes, and it would be, I don't mentally, I think I could cope with it better, is I would get a few packs of chewing gum. I'd say, when I sell these, I can have that to give to my lunch, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to ever take cold cash out of savings. It was always like a mental barrier with savings.
But it was stacking so you could do something bigger in future, because at that point, you'd never have money to do stuff, and you always need money to make money.
Yeah.
So my thing was always like, I'm going to save to this level till I got something else, and then, you know? So I wouldn't waste it on food, because food is one of those things that eats away your money. Like, I could eat at home.
Yeah.
I've got a buffet waiting for me at home when I get back, you know?
Yeah.
So let me save this money, and then I'll do something bigger, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other game that I obviously got mega obsessed with is Fortnite. There was a time, bruh, that I'm not even kidding you. Back, like, you were begging us all to get on Fortnite for ages.
Oh,
and
it's
ages and
impossible
ages.
to get you lot on there. I was like,
Yeah, but
please
we were
download this game. Please download this game. I want someone to play with me.
Yeah, but we're tribal with GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say that there was one computer game, like RuneScape, obviously I wasn't really that into, but I would play it and I was good at stealing accounts. And what I would do is sometimes when they would have their cards linked or whatever, I'd feel bad. So I would just drop my friend all the rune armor and then just give him back his naked guy.
Some compassion, some honor amongst thieves, obviously.
Yeah. And then I remember the game that I really got obsessed with, and obviously you were the guy who brought us all onto it. We were obsessed with Grand Theft Auto at the time, and we were playing it loads and loads and loads. And then Fortnite came on. I wasn't always offended that we were trying to get taken away from GTA, you know, like we were the gang, and we got all this like money because we had this like hack on GTA. We had like 300 million GTA dollars, which I think we said in the last podcast, or the one before, that it's like 12 grand sterling. And to give all that up sounded crazy. We didn't pay that for it. It was hacked. But like to give up that because that's so much value in an account, it was like, no, we can't move over. But anyway, it took like 1 or 2 games on Fortnite. And it was like the first time we'd ever played Battle Royale. And it legit got adrenaline going. Like you get down to the final, it's like dun. And I just didn't stop. There was a year, bro, where I was playing Fortnite more than
you
a
got
full-time
seriously
job.
good, and your cousin was like seriously good too.
Oh, he's sick. Jensen was.
You could have got paid for that 100%.
Yeah,
wasted talent. Now he's doing some manual labor.
Nah, but he's gonna do good. He's just learning.
Yeah,
but like,
but he was seriously good. Like he was a pro, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad in it, because the reason why I knew all you lot would love that game so much is because there's so much scheming you could do in it. Like, you can make everyone do the hard work, dig up all the stuff, and then just go shoot them or set them up.
Yeah. It was crazy. Like,
It's such a tactical game. Like, there's not games where you could actually use your brain to win. It's normally just like who's the fastest smasher of buttons, you know?
Yeah. There was so much strategy. Do you remember the flush trick? I don't know. The OGs of Fortnite are going to know this. There was like Flush Factory. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And every time we would land on the hill that was like opposite Flush Factory, we'd go there, we'd loot up the 2 sheds. You had one on the lower part and one on the higher part, loot them up, and then we'd go and hide behind the wall of Flush. We put ramps up the side. And this is before anyone became like building whizzes. And then the minute that like they would leave the building with all the loot, because they'd done all the hard lifting for us, we would just pop our heads up, bang,
Yeah,
light up the whole squad.
It's just like paintball, isn't it, really?
Yeah, bro, it's sick. And we actually even we got all the people together and fucking did paintballing for real. It was funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And we bought
Fortnite group chat turned into paintball.
We bought illegal grenades. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Paint grenades, by the way. But we bought illegal paint grenades. They were on the paintball place. We turn up and we pretended we bought like 1 or 2 from their shop so that they couldn't say that the ones we had weren't theirs. And then we legit won and blew some people out of the thing. Do you remember we threw them in the bunker and all these people had to go with their hands up? And you lit the fucking guy up. You shot that guy in the balls. You shot the warden with the. Oh, yeah, he went mad. Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm the worst at paintballing. I just get carried away so badly. I remember that girl who worked for you and I kept shooting her because she's pissing me off.
It was just screeching.
Yeah.
And I didn't condone that. But Shiz doesn't work for the company, so we can't get sued.
Yeah, well, obviously I didn't do it because of it as her, but I shot her a couple of times. She wouldn't go down. And you know, sometimes people don't go down. They just wipe themselves off.
Yeah.
So you have to punish them to the point they put their hands up.
The problem is that's again, you know what you were saying in the last one, it's PTSD. That's PTSD.
Yeah.
So now we have to confirm the kill.
Yeah.
So now no one's getting just one shot. Even if I get you a clean, I got to do it for you. I got to see you. I want to see both hands up.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you're shooting someone,
Yeah.
they're there like they pretend they keep shooting like it hasn't popped, and then after they'll be like, oh, but they've hit you in the meantime. So when I find someone or sneak up, I hit them so many times they just like panic and put their hands up. That's the only way to do it, paintballing.
Yeah, bro.
You can't just hit them once or twice. You got to like pepper them up so they can't even try and shoot you back.
Yeah.
Or they'll just cheat and wipe it off.
And then I remember like taking it back to the paintballing, right? We were talking about GTA, and the reason GTA is here is like we did runners versus Centauros. And for anyone who knows runners versus Centauros, what it was is you had two teams. You had the runners, which have to run basically down this like alley, and then you have the Centauros. And Centauno is a car, and they jump over, and they're trying to hit you off. Now, if we had one of our team who was in our mic party was put onto the Centauros team, and we were runners, it would be their job to give us safe passage. So they would kind of hit their teammates or like their teammates out the way and just keep us safe. And then we would help them win the game, and we'd pass them like one of the tanks that you get at the other side. So what we decided to do when we were paintballing is do safe passage squad for us. And we met up behind enemy lines, and then we helped annihilate the team. We did a team kill. So horse, bro.
So stupid, isn't it? Cheating at paintballing.
We met up in the weeds.
Yeah, I remember. And we're supposed to be on opposite teams, and the people that was looking at it, she's like, why is the red and the blue like so next to each other? Actually, it's just so stupid.
It's so funny. Do you remember we had that boss on our team? Because I think we were on the same team, weren't we? That ran forward with the barrel.
Yeah.
To win.
Obviously, we just done the group paintballing you pay for as a one-off. Have you ever been to the proper one? It's crazy, like next level.
Well, now, what's the proper one?
Like the paintball guns are literally like 10 times more powerful. Like if one hits you, you'll feel it. Like you won't get no bounce off bullets. I don't want to lose. Hurt like crazy.
I don't want to lose my ability to have kids.
Yeah, I think you wear like full-on cups and like face guards.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's serious.
Is that you getting whipped?
It's seriously bad.
Bro, you know about it enough with the normal one, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like I think they're running on like a third of the PSI that the big professional ones are running on.
Really?
And the bullets don't even drop; they just go straight. Like obviously, when you do the cheap one, the bullets sag, don't they? Because you always have to aim higher and like compensate for going over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And you see them dip. You aim by watching the ones. It's like you're shooting tracers. Like in it, like you don't use a sight. You shoot and then you see where they go, and then you just kind of like up.
It's mad, isn't it? That like learning of like, oh, that one's dipping. I've got to go a bit higher. Got to go a bit lower. It's like everything else in life, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah.
You got to constantly just keep reflecting. Like, is it going the right way? Is it going the wrong way? You know what I mean? Like adjusting, tweaking.
Yeah. It's like some paintball is some like metaphor to life.
Yeah.
Well, bro, off topic, do you ever think that Rick and Morty, he's woke? He understands, like, the guy who's written Rick and Morty, and I think of it because, like, before we thought the cartoon market was saturated, but someone comes along and blows everything out of the water and does something so different, you thought, like, no one's going to take
Yeah,
Simpsons
it's crazy
out,
because, Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, you thought, it can't get funnier, it can't get more crazy, and then Rick and Morty comes out, you're like, shit.
And
this is next level crazy, and it's next level funny.
He's smart, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like the program's super smart, like everything's crazy in it.
It's basically mainlining Red Pill. Like, just the way he is, even with the garage. Do you remember the garage episode? When, like, he runs off or he's gone missing and she thinks that Rick's dead.
Oh, yeah.
And because it's like some super smart, intelligent AI garage, when he goes, it comes back, it's tried to move on with another guy and he comes back. But he's also Red Pill and knows that, well, of course he did that. And she quickly acts like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And he moves on and acts like it's cool.
Yeah, it's like, it is proper woke, innit? Like, not as in woke as in, like, lefty woke, but like...
Actual woke.
Yeah, like real woke, red pilled.
Mad. Isn't it funny? Like, there's two types of woke. And I wonder if the people, the real extremist lefty woke, believe that they're mainlining truth, or do you reckon they're just pushing an agenda?
I think they're just following the path, whatever's been laid out for them. But you know what's funny? We call it a red pill, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is obviously from the Matrix, like the truth or whatever. People call it red pill. But like the two brothers who made that are now girls.
That's weird, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? So it's not really the red pill. It should be like something else.
It's crazy.
Mad. They both turn into women, I think. Or perceived women. It's crazy. And they're twins as well. That's some weird trauma they got going on there to do that.
That's really weird, man, because you would think that it seems like they are red pill by design, you know?
Yeah,
because even the Matrix is kind of red pill, you know? Like, it's all about them working for the man. Like, even if it's a computer simulation, it's the same, you know? It's a good metaphor to have the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy at the time when it came out, wasn't it?
Have you seen the new one?
I kind of stopped watching them after 3 because they got a bit, You know what I mean?
I watched a new one because it's like mad nostalgic, especially with everything that's going on recently. It just seems cool. But yeah, it's cute. They do some sick thing, man, as in like sick and twisted things. They basically put them back into the Matrix and they give Trinity a full-blown family. So she thinks she's raised this family for 18 years. And then she finds out that like, obviously they're not hers. And she has to turn on them and kill them because now they're agents.
Mad.
Like, how could you do that, bro?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So she thinks she spent 18 years getting to know raising this kid from a baby. And now it's her enemy and she's got to fight it. And that was the kind of bit that seemed dumb about the movie. Because even if you knew it was a simulation, you couldn't unplug like that, could you?
Yeah. That's the thing though, like with movies, I normally don't go past a trilogy because they're just forcing that upon. Like Fast and Furious has got embarrassing. Like,
Fast and Furious are like,
got ridiculous.
Are they on like 12? And they say like, we're the longest franchise. There's something to be proud of. But they don't even do it's not even cars anymore,
It's
bro.
like a kids movie now, like full on kids movie. Like it was decent at one point. Now it's like literally 5 to 10 year olds are like their fan base.
Last I heard, the name is something like Sherlock Holmes. It is.
You don't wait. Going back to the Matrix, yeah, I stopped after 3. I got put off because Neo was literally flying through the air like Superman with his arms out, and it's just corny. That Fast and Furious is bad now because it's just completely stupid. Like last time, I saw him dragging a safe through the street, and that was mad enough.
Yeah.
And then it got to even more ridiculous. They're jumping off planes. They're driving planes through buildings. All sorts of, it's just too much. Like they're trying to push it to just dumb things.
Yeah.
It's like slightly, what do you call it? Exaggerated as fun.
What's it called? It's not like some like I thought The Rock and Jason Statham were called something in there now, you know. And it was like blah blah and
it's mad corny.
And they're like 2 cops now, and it's not even about cars, and it's about them just trying to fight crime.
Did you see the last? I think it might be 9, where The Rock and Vin Diesel are fighting. Obviously, Vin Diesel's like 5'4", and The Rock's like 6'6" or whatever. And they're fighting, and as the angles change, they look the same height.
Is Vin Diesel 5'4"?
Yeah, he's short.
He's not Tom Cruise, is he?
All right, he's 5'5".
But
Just check Vin Diesel's height for me, please, before I'm talking shit.
yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's funny because the camera keeps changing, and every time, one time he's shorter, then he's on the same level, and he's shorter, then he's on the same level.
I remember have you seen the Hulk is changing?
How tall is he? Oh, he's 6 foot. Sorry,
Hulk-
my bad.
The Hulk is changing size every
Oh
time.
yeah, the Hulk. Yeah,
They've never managed to get consistency with the Hulk.
yeah. The Hulk's crazy because 1 minute he's the size of a car, next minute he's picking up a car with one hand.
Yeah. And 1 second a car's mashing him up. And actually, sometimes he's not much bigger than a normal man, and then other times they get an angle, and it's like he's crazy.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah,
Bro, that original one, the one that was like before they changed it to the guy from
Edward
Shutter Island.
Norton.
Yeah, Edward Norton. He was a sick Hulk, bro.
Yeah, he was.
He was the best Hulk. He was a beast. It's because he was a believable Hulk as well, you know.
Yeah.
And like you want it, and his bird, she's a good looker too. Yeah. It was
Who's
a
he
good
going
one.
with? Or who's he married to?
In that one, he was with.
In that one, yeah.
That dark hair girl. I can't remember, but
Good description.
I think she's Aerosmith's daughter, but she's a good-looking girl.
No idea.
But he was just a beast in it. Do you remember, like, you'd watch his heart rate and he'd know he'd go in trouble and he'd be trying to back someone off, like, look, you don't want to do this.
Yeah, he's
and then
crazy.
he's like trying to monitor it.
He's,
And like they were
he's a
totally
good
against
actor,
him.
isn't he? He's a serious actor.
Yeah.
Was he in American History X?
Oh yeah, he's sick in that.
Crazy in that.
Do you remember that last scene when he jumps up the helicopter and you're banking on him changing to Hulk? You don't know if he has, and he hits the concrete.
Yeah.
And then he comes out as Hulk. Bro, we should watch that after the podcast.
Yeah, that's a sick one.
Epic movie.
I hate when they keep recreating movies. It's like they've come and run out of ideas now because every movie is a recreation of something in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s. There's no like original movies anymore.
No.
The only person who does originals is like Guy Ritchie.
And they're all gutless now as well. Like, if you look at the cast of Avengers, they're all bought and sold people who will just opinions will change in any way. Like some of the OGs seem cool. Like the only good actors I think now. Like
Robert Downey was good. I like him.
good.
Fan of him.
I like Denzel. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. I like Brad Pitt. A lot of these like young bucks.
Who's the Captain America guy? What's his name?
I don't know him, but I could just.
Yeah, I don't like him either. And he's so like it's so corny. Like he's such like American superhero. Like he's got American shield.
That's why I don't like him. I don't like him as a character.
Corny as
like,
hell.
We're the good guys.
Yeah.
Captain America. I like it. Just, bro, what you get to punish everyone. Like
Yeah, and then they also insinuated in the last one he's either gay or a virgin because remember he died like 100. Like why did they need to have a stupid twist like that one? Yeah, like, the guy's like a savior of the world.
Bro, and Tom Holland's been fooling all these kids into thinking it's okay to be a whiny little bitch and you'll still get women. Like, no, it's okay to be like that when you're Tom Holland. And then you got all these other, like, what do you call it? Alternative kids who are dressing the same, bro. How's that working out for you? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that Tom Holland, I think he recently quit drinking and deleted his socials because like mental health or whatever. It's mad.
I hope his mental health. I don't know. I'm not blowing anything against Tom Holland. I'm saying you guys shouldn't be looking at him as a model of a man.
Yeah, you can't pull the same stunts as him.
No.
You're not Spider-Man, basically.
Yeah, you're not hanging down on the web to kiss your girl.
That's the thing in it, because you see like all these people, who are those guys, like goths, you know, people listen to goths obviously,
Yeah.
and you get people in school who'd copy them and think like, oh, because they're like depressed and all this, like girls are gonna like them. Like, nah,
No,
it only works with these guys because they're famous and they can sing.
Yeah.
Like, you being depressed is not gonna help your life.
Yeah, they think the emotions is going to help them.
Yeah.
I think it gets to a certain like caliber of guy. They like him to have something damaged because they want to be like the person to fix it. But they don't give a fuck if you are just some loser at school. Like, bro, you need to be in every way perfect because they can see the areas that you're not. The only reason why Rockstar gets to be like a bit damaged is because they want to care and attend to the king, the winner.
Yeah. Isn't it mad, the golf trend people had in school? It's crazy. People were cutting their wrists for like music.
Yeah, man.
I remember seeing people with like whole arms full of like cuts all the way from top to bottom.
Yeah, you get all those like
What's
lines.
the matter? Like, I'm upset. I'm like, anything to do with the type of music you listen to or your idols? Like,
Yeah.
some guy who eats like kittens. Is that Marilyn Manson who ate a kitten on stage? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. And you had that Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a live bat. But he didn't
Right, he
catch
started
coronavirus. Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah, it's funny. Bro.
Yeah,
Great
mad.
man.
It's real bad, isn't it, that stuff? All the kids I knew listened to golf music in school used to self-harm.
Yeah.
And now they're normal. Now they've grown out of it. They're normal. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your plans for the week ahead, business-wise then, brother?
Not much really. Obviously, I set up the food thing, which is only open Fridays and Saturdays.
Oh, yeah, that's going tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I think I set it up the first time we did the first pod, and today it's the first time I bought a pallet worth of food for it, which is like, you know, it's quite kind of funny because you see it grow from like nothing,
That's sick.
trial
man.
run to like a pallet. Like, it's not crazy, but it's a nice seeing the progression in it, and obviously I've got someone running it and taking a percentage, so I'm just like backseat, just checking everything's okay.
Sick, man. And while that's running, you're here doing a podcast. And that's his testament. Like, what is it now? It's 10:30 on a Friday night. And we're still working.
And this morning, the reason I was in Bath is because I went to check on the Airbnb, cleaned it out, you know, checked the new person in.
Yeah.
Then I went gym, prayed, then we got food, done whatever in between. I checked in the shop, come here. Like, people say they didn't have time, but
Yeah, we worked until 2 a.m. last night.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy,
exactly.
bro. Well,
Everyone's got sleep time. Everyone thinks they need sleep, but really, you could take 2 hours out of sleep, an hour out of sleep.
Yeah.
You're not going to die if you don't have 8 hours sleep.
No, I know. People get so snobby about sleep.
Yeah. It's like an entitlement, like, oh, but I have to sleep. Like, okay, well, your dreams can sleep too then, I guess. You know, for now, until you're ready to cut a bit of sleep off.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest cop-out. I don't have time. Like, you had time to go to the pub. You had time to go to the gym. You had time to do whatever, you know? And the other thing, actually, what I kept getting comments about was like, oh, this guest did that, or the audio quality wasn't good, or the music's too loud. Like, okay, so people are watching it, from like a hateful place. There's no positivity or no positive criticism. It's just people complaining.
Yeah.
But like, there's kids who are 20 years old who've come on here and talked, and we've got people who are 30 plus who are cancelling last minute because they're not confident enough to talk on camera. So even if this kid who's 20, his performance ain't the best, at least he had the balls to come on and talk, you know?
Facts. Yeah.
And yeah, just doing it, just getting out and putting yourself out there, overcoming something.
And you know what? It comes down to everything. Like, what will you be like at 20? Like, just thinking to the person who's got something to say.
Yeah,
So-
I'd be scared too, but just go and do it.
Yeah.
You have to give him ratings for coming on here and talking about his business. The fact that he started his own business is enough. So like, yeah, if you're on here commenting on someone younger than you, why they're not talking properly, like, come on here and show us how it's done, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, even by now, it's going to be showing to the guys who were the naysayers. It's going to be starting to make them sweat, you know. We've had some good guests on now. We got bigger guests coming too. They're getting sicker. The thing's getting crazier. And yeah, I guess that.
Yeah, it's all just been a
negativity has
warm up, hasn't
fueled.
it?
Yeah,
It's all been a warm up, and obviously, I don't know, no one's even seen a guest so far. But yeah, we've got some big guests coming, and then that should take it to the next level. It's all like a progression, isn't it? Like, the way people talk and comment and have inbox me or inbox the BroNups page, they thought we were going to start off by interviewing Brad Pitt. Like, that's not how it works. You know? Like someone big or someone famous. We'll just start with ourselves, start with whoever wants to come on. And then by the time we get to that level, then these people will be like, oh, can I come on? Because this guy was on the podcast. I want to be on the same podcast as this guy, you know?
And you know what I was hoping with this whole thing? It keeps making noise.
No, shit. Sorry.
You know what I was hoping with this whole thing is this is going to be now like my 2 other businesses have been, they work because I consistently worked on it. And like when there's those times where you start to think, is it going to work? Is it not work? You don't give up. You continue to work. And then through the times when it seems bleak and like everything around you says you got to quit, you don't quit. It works. And then suddenly, bang, it works better than anyone could have ever imagined. And I've seen that now happen 2 out of 2 times. And now we're on the podcast, and especially for the naysayers, because you guys are the fuel to help, but also for the people who want to see how things work, because this is almost like a anecdotal like study, you know, to show like, look, this is what happens when you consistently work. So you're on this journey with us. Like we're having the podcast and we're talking to interesting guests and you're hearing stories from me and Shiz. But also what's going to be cool is you can now see what can happen with no capital. And this now is episode 8 or 9. Did we say 8 or 9?
Yeah, 9.
So this is episode 9 on the journey. And the results aren't crazy. You guys would have given up already, and we're still doing it. And we have every reason to give up because we got enough money to not have to do this, but we're still doing it. But the good thing is now you get to see the importance of consistency and discipline. Everyone wants to know, like, what's the magic way to make money? And there really is no, because every idea that's been done, if someone's telling you the idea, it's because it's rinsed. So basically is no one really knows the answer. They only know that you have to work your ass off and be consistent and disciplined and be switched on. Other than that, there's no magic pill. There's no idea.
Yeah, what's the stats right now? What, we on 200 downloads on Spotify? Which is probably, what's that? So we got 220 downloads on Spotify. What about average 400-500 views on YouTube?
Yeah, that's about right.
And then the reels range between sort of like 1,000 to 10,000 at day on Insta.
Yeah. And
Which is
now,
mad, to be fair.
Yeah. It's cool that 10,000 people could watch it. Like it's easy to be a snob with numbers, but like we were saying this, weren't we? It's like you be a snob with numbers, but think of that as 10 backwash schools. If you get 10,000 on a reel, that's 10 whole schools. And our school was big.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people.
What did you say, 10,000? So that's like, what's that? Sort of like 3% of the population of our city kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But obviously it'll be everywhere. And like it's mad because we wouldn't think that we're going to hit that within what, like a couple weeks, a month? Like 5,000 views on a reel, whatever.
Yeah.
Like we don't get anything out of it now, but it's like a step in the right direction and it's some feedback for us, you know?
It's going to be cool. We're going to become the biggest podcast in Bristol, first and foremost. Not that Bristol's known as some podcast city, but it's going to be like, yo, they were on
We're
the
not in
BroNups.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yo, have you been on the BroNups? Have you heard about the BroNups? Like we turned up earlier. We drove outside this restaurant in my Lambo, and this guy said, "Yo, that's the guys from the guys from the BroNups. Oh, that's the guys from a podcast."
Yeah, he goes, "Has that guy got a podcast?" I was just like listening. He asked like 3 times. Everyone's like,
Yeah, sick.
It's funny, innit? It's crazy how people like the effect. Like one person just tells another, and then before you know, everyone knows who you are. Like people I know don't even have socials. Or like, oh, I listened to your podcast. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And obviously, someone's got with them just to talk rubbish about it, and then they've ended up watching the whole thing, saying, "Oh yeah, actually, it's quite good."
And actually, talking to the guys that say you're talking rubbish, can you let us know what these mics are like now? Seriously, because we think we've got the best mics you can get. They weigh heavy enough.
Yeah, no, the stand doesn't even hold them anymore. That's why I'm trying to hold
We
it.
have to balance it with our foot, bro. This is what you haters have done. You've made us buy mics that we can't even hold up anymore.
Yeah, it's mad. We got there in the end with the tech, though. But yeah, that's why I kept getting like, you need to sort your audio out.
Yeah.
Why have you got mics and audio still clear? Like, yeah, we made a reel out of the phone footage, you know?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Nice,
What we coming
brother.
up?
Should we check out and have an ice cream?
Yeah, cool.
Cool. It's Friday night,
Nice
guys.
one.
We're having ice cream. You guys going out drinking? And this is why we're doing this. And you're going to ask us how to make money tomorrow when you're hungover. See, you should be doing the same. Use this as an example. You don't listen to us and then go back to being you. Cheers.
That's the way it is. Nice one.